Hello and welcome to Euro Football Daily, where today we're looking at some of the scariest, toughest and most violent football fans in the world. 10. Dynamo Dresden. Despite spending time in Germany's second and third tiers, they still regularly draw audiences of 27,000 people, more than 10,000 more than the average attendance of the English Championship. Dresden fans managed to maintain a wide range of rivalries, with Berliner Dynamo a particular enemy, along with the clubs of nearby city Leipzig. And in 2016, this local hatred reared its head again, as Dynamo faced off against Red Bull Leipzig in the German Cup. With Red Bull already unpopular for their huge spending and corporate sponsorship, Dresden fans made their feelings clear when they threw the severed head of a cow onto the pitch. And to cap the insult, Dresden won the game on penalties. 9. Zenit St. Petersburg. Football at its best can bring people together, but in Russia there remains a huge racism problem, with Zenit St. Petersburg a particularly vile example. The club's ultras have repeatedly called for an all-white team, claiming that the side's foreign and black players undermine its traditional identity. Zenit thugs have even made monkey noises at black players during games, and in 2012 a group of supporters sent an open letter to the club, again criticising the team's diversity and calling gay players unworthy of our great city. French midfielder Jon Umvila turned down a move to Zenit after receiving death threats from fans, and the disgusting behaviour doesn't end with racism, as in 2012 a Dinamo Moscow player was injured after the crowd pelted him with firecrackers. 8 and 7 Boca Juniors and River Plate. Numbers 8 and 7 are two great rivals of Argentinian football, Boca Juniors and River Plate. Like many clubs, these two have hooligan organisations among their fans called Barra Bravas. Violence has long been a part of football in Argentina, with a Vélez Sarsfield fan murdered by police back in 1958, seemingly at the command of River fans. And these ultras, called the Drunks of the Stands, have also been known to ambush fans of other teams, once attacking a bus of Newell's Old Boys supporters in 2003 and killing 2. The rivalry between the two Buenos Aires clubs is the fiercest in the country, with one of football's worst tragedies occurring in 1968 when a fight broke out during a match. In a rush for the exits, 71 people were crushed to death, and lessons have not been learned, as in 2002 a Super Classico between the clubs had to be abandoned after fans were shot. In 2011, when River was shockingly relegated from the top flight, an enormous riot ensued, with more than 2,000 police deployed, as fans looted shops, set cars alight, and hospitalised more than 50 people. They say football is a religion in South America, but sometimes it seems more like a war. 6. Galatasaray. The sign said "Welcome to Hell" when Manchester United touched down in Istanbul back in 1993, and Galatasaray fans were true to their word. The match was bookended by mayhem on the streets, and the police were complicit too, beating many innocent fans and throwing more than 150 in jail, as well as hitting Eric Cantona in the head with a truncheon. Subsequent matchups between Gala and English opposition saw renewed hostilities, as 2 Leeds fans were stabbed to death in Turkey back in 2000. Afterwards, some fans called the killers patriots, while the Gala players refused to wear black armbands. And before the UEFA Cup final against Arsenal that very year, Copenhagen was overrun by supporters on the rampage, with English hooligans and Turkish fans going toe-to-toe. In the end, Gala supporters raised the Turkish flag in the city square, and 4 people were stabbed. 5. Dinamo Zagreb. What is it about sides called Dinamo? This time it's Croatian side Zagreb, whose notorious firm, the Bad Blue Boys, have used their team's rivalry with Hajduk Split as an excuse for some appalling behaviour over the years. Known as the Eternal Derby, the fixture is hard fought, and fans have their own contest off the pitch, with footage emerging of street battles involving baseball bats, chains and iron bars. But Dinamo's darkest chapter came in 1990 during a game against Red Star Belgrade. Croatia's move towards independence from Yugoslavia had heightened ethnic tensions, and Red Star fans chanted "Zagreb is Serbian" as they attacked Dinamo supporters with knives and chairs. Even the players got involved, the great Zvonimir Boban becoming a Croatian icon when he kicked a policeman who was fighting a Dinamo fan. 4. Lazio. Lazio has long been associated with fascism and racism, and it hasn't been helped by famous Laziali like Paolo Di Canio, who infamously made a fascist salute at the Stadio Olimpico and publicly praised former Italian dictator Benito Mussolini. Clubs with historically left-wing fan bases like Livorno and Roma have been the target of particular abuse. In the late 90s, banners were displayed with insults to black players and Holocaust taunts aimed at Jewish supporters. In 2012, that anti-Semitism went further still, as Tottenham fans were stabbed by neo-Nazi thugs in the run-up to a Europa League fixture. While the club has been infiltrated by right-wing extremists, the problems are not limited to a few bad apples. As recently as 2015, Lazio fans made monkey noises at Napoli's Kalidou Koulibaly, and Napoli's ultras responded by wearing masks of the player's face to show solidarity with their star defender. 3. Wisla Krakow. The supporters of Polish outfit Wisla Krakow have waged what they call a holy war against local rivals KS Cracovia for 110 years now. The long history of violence in Poland earned Krakow the nickname the City of Knives, and infamously Parma's Dino Baggio was hit in the head by a blade thrown from the crowd back in 1993. Altercations between the Krakow clubs started as far back as the 1940s, when the football field became a battleground, and in recent years matters have worsened, with 8 people murdered in football-related street fights between 2004 and 2006. However, the rivalry did see one period of ceasefire, when police brutality in 1990 prompted the two sets of fans to put aside their differences and fight a common enemy. The Soviet embassy was vandalized, and football fans ruled the city for just a few hours. 2. Ferencvaros. The club of all-time greats like Laszlo Kubala and Sandor Kocsis, Hungary's Ferencvaros have seen their reputation decline since the golden age of the 1950s, when Hungary dominated club and international football. In the modern era, Ferencvaros thugs have fought Millwall fans and were forced to play a game in Malta behind closed doors after crowd trouble. Even the club's players are not safe, with the end of the 2002-2003 season seeing several games played in an empty stadium after supporters tried to attack their own team. Racism is common among the club's hardcore factions, and Ferencvaros have repeatedly been fined for chants and projectiles directed at players. Meanwhile, their rivalry with Ujpest has led to police intervention and the use of tear gas on multiple occasions. 1. Al-Masry. Located in Port Said, a major port city in Egypt, Al-Masry is one of the country's most popular teams and competes with Cairo side Al Ahly for the Egyptian Premier League title most years. Al-Masry's hooligan firm, the Ultra Green Eagles, became notorious after their rivalry with Al Ahly led to one of the worst stadium disasters of all time. After a 3-1 home victory over Al Ahly in 2012, a riot broke out and Al-Masry supporters came from all over the city to attack the visitors. They were armed with knives, swords, bottles and fireworks, and 74 people were killed. 72 of them Al Ahly fans. More than 500 were injured and 73 were arrested afterwards, with 11 sentenced to death for their part in the events. The Al Ahly manager and players testified later that they had watched fans die in the changing room, and the Premier League was cancelled for 2 seasons. It's thought that the government may have even played a part in starting the riot, due to the involvement of Al Ahly's fan groups in liberal political protests. So those were our top 10 most dangerous fans in football, but who did we miss out? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out last week's video. That was on 10 players who never quite fulfilled their potential. And as ever guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.